Hello, this is Nightmare Threads with your boys, Joe, and your very amazing and fabulous co host. Scott's here because I totally forgot his name. I am so sorry.
It's my actual name. What the fuck? Yo, I forgot this dude's name. I've only been friends with him for 2 years.
Forget about him for a second, but today's story is amazing, scary, and kind of frightening. Its title is The Jack-O-Lantern Men of Willowwood Hill. Just to let you know, this can be scary. So if you are a small child, please turn away currently at this moment in time and buckle up because this is a fun and joyous ride.
Viewer discretion
Take it away,
is
Scott.
advised. Okay. I live in a picturesque little housing development overlooking the Avalon River, just a short drive away from Somber Mori. It's surrounded by enough woods to muffle out the sound of traffic on the adjacent highway, and the road leading into the neighborhood is so discreet that delivery drivers regularly have trouble finding it. Always felt safe to me. Secluded, an isolated little bubble that the rest of the world seemingly couldn't find, even if they wanted to. But that changed on October 1st. It was a gorgeous, crisp fall day. The leaves on a giant maples and oaks that surrounded our neighborhood were just starting to change colors, and I had gone out to get my mail from our pair of community mailboxes, the newer ones with the wind-blown maple leaves emblazoned on the side. As I stepped out, however, I noticed that there was a small, impromptu gathering of our neighbors on Mr. Kekwaski's front lawn, fawning over something that I couldn't quite make out. Whatever the commotion was about, I figured it was probably worth delaying getting my junk mail for a few minutes, so I casually walked over to inspect the spectacle for myself. When my neighbors saw me approaching, they politely moved aside so I can get a clear view of whatever it was that had them so enamored. It was a jack-o'-lantern man, a snowman made out of jack-o'-lanterns. There were 3 hollowed-out pumpkins stacked on top of each other, and together stood about 5 feet high. The top pumpkin had been carved with a fairly stereotypical jack-o'-lantern face, but the bottom 2 had been carved so it looked like the figure was dressed in a brocade? 19th century suit. Is that the right word? Brocade? What is a brocade?
I don't know. Should we look it up?
Sure. We'll do a little diverging right here real quick.
Is it a brocade or barcode?
Fuck if I know, dude. Brocade, a rich silk fabric with raised patterns in gold and silver.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Is that real? I ask incredulously. While it was obviously completely possible for it to be real, it seemed far more likely that it was some sort of mass-produced plastic Halloween decoration. It's absolutely real, Mr. Lacombe, the preteen girl, Laureen Isley, assured me excitedly, her eyes shining like it was Christmas morning. She stuck her finger inside the jack-o'-lantern's mouth, ran it along the inside, and pulled out a to reveal still flesh, seeds, and pulp. See? I stepped closer and tentatively poked the fleshy fruit of each of the 3 pumpkins. They looked real, felt real, and smelled real. And thus I could only conclude that they were in fact real. These are remarkably intricate. Fuck me. These are remarkably intricate carvings, I muttered as I ran my hand along the middle pumpkin. I glanced up towards the elderly Mikowski, who looked like it was taking everything he had not to yell at us to get off his damn lawn. You didn't make this, did you? Yeah.
I was gonna say, get out my lawn!
Get out my lawn, you damn kids!
Sorry.
What do you think? He asked, holding up his clearly arthritic hands. No damn thing was here when the sun came up. Someone must have dropped it off in the night. Very peculiar. My gut reaction was it was prank of some kind, but the thing's too beautiful for that to make any kind of sense. And no one else saw anything? I asked, turning around to face the rest of the neighbors, all of whom shook their heads. I'll
look over my security footage later, but I don't think it would have a very clear view of Kakowski's place at night.
Hades, Lorene's mom, offered as she used a wet one to clean Lorene's hands.
I'll send out some emails and put a notice on the bulletin board asking about it, but I'm sure it's just a surprise Halloween decoration.
Did you lose your spot?
What?
You just like stopped for a second.
Yeah, I'm realizing how fucked up these voices are. If it is, it was poorly thought out. This thing will be a pile of mush by Halloween, Kakowski said with a shake of his head, giving the pile of pumpkins a disdainful whack with his cane before turning it to go back inside his house. You damn well better find who's responsible for this before then, because I'm not cleaning it up.
Wait, Mr. Kakowski. I want to get a picture with the jack-o'-lantern man while we're all out here together.
Lorene pleaded, excitedly waving her phone in the air. Kakowski stopped in his tracks, hung his head, and let out a theatrical, reluctant sigh before turning around and joining the rest of us for a group photo. Lorene posted the photo she took of the jack-o'-lantern man on her Instagram, and I decided to run a reverse image search to see if I could gain any insight about who had made it. Those results were unexpected. I thought I would get the results for a local craftsperson or something, but instead the algorithm matched it with a picture of harwickshallows.net, a local paranormal discussion forum. The picture was a black and white illustration from an old newspaper article, maybe as far as back in the 19th century, depicting a much more monstrous and ferocious looking jack-o'-lantern man. According to the poster, the jack-o'-lantern men started inexplicably appearing in a nearby, though suspiciously nameless, hamlet on October 1st. There were exactly 30 homes in the hamlet, and each day until Halloween, a new jack-o'-lantern man would arrive in the wee hours of the morning, with no one ever seeing where it had come from. That detail unsettled me a little, since our housing development also had exactly 30 homes. Spooky. Anyway, all manner of misfortunes started to befall the sleepy hamlet, and the increasingly paranoid villagers blamed the orange interlopers. They tried destroying or moving them, of course, but each morning they'd be back like nothing had ever happened. Some of the villagers, children at first, but later some adults, claimed to have seen the jack-o'-lantern men moving around at night, wreaking as much havoc and destruction as they could without getting caught. Naturally, the villagers' hysteria grew stronger the closer it got to Halloween, fearing some sort of inevitable climax on the 31st. Some fled, of course, and some stayed, but ultimately it didn't matter. None of them were ever heard from again. There were no physical remains, no signs of violence or bloodshed. They were just gone. The rest of the forum thread, just increasingly bizarre and baseless speculation about the nature and veracity of the event, it quickly became silly enough to put my mind at ease regarding any similarity to my current situation. I didn't give it any more thought until I came home from work that night and saw the jack-o'-lantern man had been lit up. It struck me as odd, given Mr. Kakowski's seeming exasperation with the thing, but maybe one of the neighbors had lit it up instead. The next morning, when the sound of Lorene's joyful, excited cries came in through my open windows, I tried to deny that they filled me with the anonymous sense of dread. I cautiously stepped out of my door, and sure enough, there was another jack-o'-lantern man in our neighborhood. It was right next to Mr. Kakowski's house and Ranner's place. Number 2. Willowwood Crescent. It wasn't identical to the previous one, either clearly made from 3 real, once living pumpkins, with its own distinct design carved into them. I don't suppose anyone saw where this one came from, did they? I asked, without much hope, as I approached the crowd of onlookers, its size surpassing the one from the day before. You want to do this voice? Running out of voices.
Where the fuck are we at?
No
Wanna
one.
put your cursor over. Okay. Is it a fuck?
It's a guy, I
Is it-
think.
No one, which is pretty damn weird when you think about it. Jeremy Connor remarked. more confused and concerned about the jack-o'-lantern's man's appearance. I love how it says appearance. Things. Shit. Do you really want me to read this thing?
Just
This
his
things?
just his talking points.
Okay. This thing's not exactly lit, but there are no marks on the lawn from someone dragging it.
Damn, that dyslexic is really kicking in.
Oh god, it's so terrible. Like it drop.
There's no drop in there.
Why'd you make me read?
It's just a talking line.
What? It just popped out of the ground where it is.
Do you think they're magic? Lorene asked, jumping up and down.
Oh, is it my turn again?
Nope.
They're mysterious.
Orlin, I believe.
Lorlin? They're mysterious Lorlin. Let's leave it at that for now.
Jeremiah replied non-committedly, not wanting to crush her exuberance. I'm going to my Aunt Samantha to come look at these. She's a witch, so she'll know if they're magic, Orlin proclaimed.
Sweetheart, we've been over this. Your Aunt Samantha is not a real witch.
Lorene's mother reprimanded her gently.
She's just lonely, got taken in by a new age cultist, and now works for her as a brainwashed fake psychic.
Lorelin rolled her eyes as her mother rationalism, but didn't argue with her. Oh fuck, there's another one. Boy, Gokowski's stack of lanterns been moved. I heard Tyler Yablokov shout. That's my best attempt at a Russian accent. We all turned to where he was pointing, and sure enough, the jack-o'-lantern man was not right up against Gokowski's front window. Peering inside, there was no signs of it being hauled across the lawn, not one blade of grass out of shape, and yet there it was, as though it was as portable as an inflatable Halloween decoration. Lorlin excitedly ran over to the jack-o'-lantern and began knocking on Mr. Gokowski's window, only to scream when she saw what was inside. Her mother and several others immediately ran over to see what was wrong, and as Heidi comforted her daughter, the others either called for an ambulance or tried to break their way into the house. Gokowski had suffered a massive heart attack and was lying dead on his living room floor, where Lorlin found him. The EMTs estimated his time of death just after sunrise. The prevailing theory among the neighborhood was that the sight of the jack-o'-lantern man at his window had been what triggered the heart attack, and most of us wanted to know what was responsible for it. No one wanted to fess up, and I decided to keep the urban legend I had read about to myself, so no one really had anything to go on. But even without knowing about the legend from Harwick's Hollow, a lot of people suspected that another jack-o'-lantern man would be gracing our neighborhood come October 3rd. Jesus Christ. Bringing too much rock start. Everyone had anything that could be used as a security camera, made sure they were set up and activated and pointing towards a house number 3 if it was possible. We who coordinated a watch around our work and sleep schedules as much as we could, ensuring we had the best chance of catching whoever was responsible for these things in the act. That night, as I kept my vigil on my porch, I saw the lights in the jack-o'-lantern man spring to life, even though I knew nobody would have dared to light them now. Come October 3rd, there was a grand total of 3 jack-o'-lantern men, and the first 2, while still on their original properties, had moved as well. None of our cameras had caught their movement, and by now we were all starting to get seriously unsettled. Cranner, most of all. If these things were here to pick us off one by one, then it would have made sense that he'd be next. Tyler was the first one to try to get rid of the damn things, and called some of his friends to help him load them up into his pickup truck. I don't remember where he planned on taking them or what he was going to do with them, because it didn't matter. Before he could even get out of the neighborhood, one of his back tires exploded. He lost control and crashed into a street lamp. Nobody died that day, and Tyler himself was fine aside from some whiplash. And that's when most of us became convinced that these things were cursed. Each day, a new jack-o'-lantern man would appear at the next house, and the ones who were already present would have changed positions, all without being seen or recorded. They didn't decay as the days ticked by, either. Always appearing as if they had been freshly carved. Dogs hated them, but they were probably just picking up on their owner's unease. Nobody wanted to try to moving them again, not after what happened with Tyler. There were no more heart attacks or car crashes after that, but the threat the jack-o'-lantern men posed still loomed over all of us. Each morning, we'd regularly find things broken or missing, the jack-o'-lantern men seemingly to blame. They had a tendency to block off driveways, doorways, and garages, or sit in flower beds or play equipment. It was almost as if they were daring us to move them, but we just worked around them rather than risk it. We didn't talk about them much after the first couple days, and never within sight or earshot of them. We had come to a general consensus that they were trying to troll us, to egg us into somehow disrespecting them, to give them license for revenge. It was around the middle of the month where Lorlin came knocking at my door. When I answered her, I found her standing next to a woman with long red hair, clad in a long red dress and cloak, with a pentagram necklace and triple moon belt buckle on prominent display. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're her Aunt Samantha, I presumed. Do you want to do Aunt Samantha?
Yeah. Where are we at again? Sorry.
This paragraph.
Okay. Cool. Yes, that's right. I'm Samantha Summers. I'm a metaphysical counselor and spiritual wellness advisor at Eve's Eden of what the fuck?
Esoterica?
Esoterica in town.
She spoke confidently, as if those were actually valuable credentials. It wasn't hard to see where Laurelyn's mother had described her as a brainwashed fake psychic.
Laurelyn asked me to stop by and take a look at the... Oh shit, that's a jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern and ties.
Entities?
Entities. Well, it's tied into the entities, okay?
Yes, Samantha.
That have been manifesting in your neighborhood. I'm scared.
Yeah. They've been popping up one after another all month. No one wants to come out and say it's supernatural, but it's pretty damn weird. We've never been able to see who's doing this, I admitted, awkwardly rubbing the back of my neck.
What? It's my turn, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I can't confirm, for you that all of these jack-o'-lanterns entities are definitely paranormal, just to let you know.
She said with confidence.
I've been honing a clairvoyancy from the past 3 years now. That's a long time for clairvoyancy.
That is pretty long.
And there's no doubt in my mind, it's very vacant in there currently, that these jack-o'-lanterns are serving the earthly binds of some other manner of human spirits. Just to let you know, the bindings of the strong, bindings are strong enough that they can at least manifest some minor metaphysics.
Misfortune. What the? Okay.
And I suspect that at night and when no one is watching them, they might be able to manipulate the jack-o'-lanterns directly.
I see. Your voice did a weird thing every once in a while, but I see. I nodded, humoring her at first, but unable to deny the fact that I had no rational explanation for how they were moving or getting fresh candles. Well, do you have any idea why this is happening?
Unfortunately, no. I have found records of at least one similar event over a century ago. A really long time. But, yeah, I haven't been able to find any clear cause of that either.
She admitted.
What do we know is this kinds of spirits demand respect. They don't like to be punished. They want to be treated with respect. So don't try to move or damage them. That could be really bad. And they'll have no cause to retaliate. You can also buy some good... I thought we were going to Goodwill, okay? But you can buy some Goodwill.
Off to Goodwill.
You can buy some stocks at Goodwill currently at this moment in time with a token of sacrifice. Like a coin or a piece of kidney.
And Samantha and I are already fed Halloween candy to each of the jack-o'-lanterns that are already here. And I'll feed any new ones to keep them from hurting anyone else, Lordlin said dodgily. She was clearly still shaken by Kakowski's death. Hell, I was too. And it was kind of heartwarming to see how determined she was to keep the rest of us safe. I smiled warmly at her while her aunt gave her a consoling pat on the back. Is there anything I can do? I asked.
Just avoid disrespecting the jack-o'-lanterns. And when yours appears, which it will, it's bound to happen. Be sure to honor it with a small sacrifice of some kind, like the cat.
Samantha replied.
For a good measure, you can make a sacrifice to the rest of them as well. Avoid them at night, such as as much as you can. Just to let you know, they're very scary. They're stronger when the veil between the physical and spiritual planes are weaker. Like when you close your windows, the veil's fairly strong. When you open them, it sucks. You can see them. It's scary. It's weaker at night, just because of darkness, and you don't know. Like, don't close your eyes. Keep them open. And it will be weakest of all the Halloween, of all on Halloween. Yeah. Just to let you know, Halloween is very scary. That's when the metaphysical and manifestical worlds collide. I don't know what is going to happen on Halloween. I'm not clairvoyant. I can only read minds. But if you can avoid offending them, I think you should be okay. If you'd like, I can perform a blessing of your home that should make it a little bit harder for the manifesting spirits to harm you. It only. Oh shit! I was gonna charge you for free.
No charge.
No charge.
Let's go. Jesus Christ. With a reluctant sigh, I let my potentially crazy woman into my house. She did a little ritual and left me with her business card in case I wanted to invest in any of the protective charms they sold as well. That did make me start to wonder if the whole thing might have been some elaborate guerrilla marketing campaign, but I couldn't deny that Samantha did seem sincere in her convictions. I watched through my window as she and Lorlin went over to Tyler's house, only to be shooed away like Jehovah's Witnesses. He was still pissed with the jack-o'-lantern men over his truck and deck, and I knew he wasn't going to follow their advice. Somehow, that gave me a very uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach. You're like this rock star. Not sponsored, by the way. The next day, I and probably everyone else in the neighborhood were woken up by the sounds of Tyler's cursing. He'd gotten his jack-o'-lantern man, and it had appeared on the roof of his truck. It seems they had finally crossed a line that one of us couldn't abide by, and I watched helplessly as an enraged Tyler climbed up into the back of his pickup truck and fiercely shoved the jack-o'-lantern man onto the asphalt below.
He's gonna die.
He is gonna die. The pumpkins cracked, but largely remained intact, which Tyler apparently thought was a fate too good for them. He grabbed what I think was a monkey wrench from the toolbox in his truck and just started pulverizing the thing, stomping its hide until it was mush. He was so engrossed in his vengeance that he didn't notice that the parking brake to his truck suddenly gave out and it started rolling down his inclined driveway. I've watched as it swerved seemingly without cause and crashed into an electrical pole. I'm not a psychiatrist, but there's no way that truck was moving with enough kinetic force to topple that pole. And yet... Oh, physicist. I said psychiatrist.
I was gonna say...
Physicist. Yet somehow, that's exactly what happened. I heard it snap like a tree from a bolt of lightning and saw it fall forward into Tyler's house. Taut power lines snapped, flailed about wildly, and started a fire that would burn Tyler's house to the ground. Even in broad daylight, the smoke and flames from the inferno could be seen for miles. Tyler was devastated, of course, but more than that, he was terrified. A lot of us were terrified. We had no reason to think that burning down Tyler's house would be enough to sate? Okay. I'm going to say satiate. Satiate's a much better word. The jack-o'-lantern's need for revenge. For all we know, Tyler was a dead man, and we might all be next. The day after the house fire, Tyler's jack-o'-lantern man was in one piece again, holding a marshmallow on a stick over the still smoldering rubble. A lot of us decided to leave the neighborhood after that, at least until after Halloween, but not me. I honestly didn't think running away would do any good, and if anything, I'd just be putting innocent bystanders in danger. I stayed, placing spare change into the mouths of each and every jack-o'-lantern man, exactly as Samantha said. Today, October 30th, the last jack-o'-lantern man appeared, and it appeared on my lawn. I'm at house number 30, you see, right across the street from Kukowski's house. Since it's a crescent and all, I slowly pulled back my curtains, knowing it would be there, but dreading the confirmation nonetheless. It was the worst one so far. It was bigger too, bigger than I was in both height and girth. Wow. Its face was a monstrous sneering gargoyle, or maybe more like a Japanese oni. Its bottom two pumpkins were carved to resemble an outfit, but rather medieval depictions of hell, embellished by the candle glowing inside of it. I noticed then that not only it, but all the other jack-o'-lanterns men had their candles lit in the daytime, and they were burning brighter than they ever had before. Knowing what I had to do, I steeled up my courage and went outside, a bowl of Halloween candy in hand. I fed my jack-o'-lantern man first, then went door to door to feed the rest of them. Laurelyn's family was among those that left, and I promised her I'd keep making offerings to the jack-o'-lantern men. I forfeited my house a little, but what happened to Tyler's place is proof that it won't stop them. I can only hope that we've managed to appease them. They're all here now, all 30 of them, and they've got one night left to do whatever it is they're going to do. Tomorrow, it won't be children, but the jack-o'-lanterns doing the trick-or-treating. And I can only hope that our treats will be enough to stave off their tricks. Written by the Vespers Bell. Pretty good story.